And tell me you were starting. What?
No Pants Friday, no Pants Friday, no pants, no pants, no Pants Friday!
Come on. Now I have to tell you when we're starting? Come on.
Yes.
Guys, it's No Pants Friday. It's Friday. That means no pants. And guess what? This one over here basically isn't wearing pants. Like we were just discussing in the chat. What is acceptable?
Leggings are acceptable.
No pants. Leggings are acceptable. Listen, they're not ideal, but anything with an elastic band will be allowed on No Pants Friday. Now, if you're wearing jeans, no. If you're wearing jeggings,
maybe.
Those are kind of okay. The idea is that in the comfort of your own home, you should not be constrained
with a waistband.
With a restrictive waistband.
Gotcha.
You hear what I'm saying? So, and for me, that just means just no pants. Just no pants.
It's always no pants with you.
Yeah. And it works out really.
Yes, there was the eye roll. You're right. It's just, I don't even plan it. I apologize. It's like some people have resting bitch face. I have like massive eye roll face or something. I don't know.
I think you have both.
Oh, I have both, huh? Thanks.
Anyway, it works out well for me. I'm always comfortable. And if anyone knocks at the door or rings the doorbell, you have to answer it. So it works out pretty well.
Always.
However, I will say, guys, my office is upstairs. Hers is like downstairs right next to the door. So regardless, it makes sense for you to answer the door. You just get a little more agitated about it when it's like the season where solicitors are coming like nonstop to knock on the door.
Right now it's the for the election. I got this weird hair thing sticking up, so I keep catching on it.
Well, my plan, I need to like do this like in the next day or two. My plan is I'm going to make a sign that basically says no soliciting, especially for the election season. Knock on this door and you can be assured that we will vote for the opponent or something like that. That's all
the other night when the lady was trying to hand me the piece of paper about the one guy, I was like, who are you here for? Okay, I'm voting for the person running against them.
And that's not actually how we make our choices, but might as well put the fear of God in them. So I'm all right.
Well, we also get a lot of, because we do live in Henderson, we also get a lot of Mormon missionaries, which are very nice and very sweet, but I must have at least 2 or 3 a week, every week. And I'm always very friendly, don't get me wrong, because I understand what they're trying to do, but I'm not going to put a missionary to work. They're always like, they want to be of service. That's part of the mission. So, you could literally have them mow your lawn.
We got some yard work they could do.
I will not do that. I feel that's awful. I always send them to the street, the lady across the street that has like 3 little kids. I'm like, maybe she needs babysitting. Maybe she needs help because she's got 3 little kids. Like, I feel really strange asking them to do anything for me. So can't do it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy though, because when I lived in Oregon, I mean, maybe once a year somebody would come knock on your door. Like we just didn't have solicitors like you do here. Here it's like so many.
They're trying to sell crap, or or we get a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses here too, and we get a lot of the Mormons, and we have a lot of people for the election, but we have just as many people coming in and trying to sell us pest control or water delivery or meat delivery or God,
if I open the door and there's somebody like that, I immediately am like, no.
That's not nice.
And then I shut the door.
That's nice.
You'd be surprised because I'm like the one that's generally more upbeat and positive, whereas she's not so much.
I'm kind of a bitch.
When it comes to somebody knocking on the door, I am like, why are you talking to them for so long? Make it stop now. Just say no and shut the door. And she's like, she's too nice when it comes to that. I don't know why.
Because I'm not going to be rude to somebody's face. First of all, if you've ever done door-to-door solicitation for anything, I don't even care if you were selling Girl Scout cookies or whatever. It's not that easy to knock on people's doors. So
Quit doing it. Doing it.
Well,
by the way, Red Neckerson Resales, $1.27 super chat. Super chat. Yeah. Let's get that face out of her.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I get the door-to-door thing. But like, okay, for instance, there were some kids like trying to raise money for, I don't know, it was like their baseball team or something like that at the grocery store. And it's like, they didn't have anything to give in return. I'm like, the quickest way to get money out of us, first of all, do it at the grocery store. Like, I'm ready to spend some money. don't come to my house,
Mhm.
but give me something in return. I will pay $2 for a 25-cent candy bar because I'm just like, hey, I get to eat a candy bar for a good cause.
See, Corey,
it's
Corey
psychology.
is in the chat. Corey was selling candy bars for her son, right? And she lives she works close to here, to where we live.
Yeah.
She came by a couple weeks ago and dropped off some candy bars. I'm always happy to contribute for that type of thing. But for the most part, I'm like, yeah, go away. Or you could be like me. And a little over a year ago, Dana will be happy to tell you the story about how I got screwed out of $50 at the door by a con person because I am too nice.
Too nice.
And I actually legit handed somebody $50 at my door, and
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But seriously, it's like if it's candy bars or cookies, I will pay too much for them because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have to eat it because it's for a good cause. Mm-hmm. And so that always works. So it's like, at least give me something for it and don't knock on my door because I don't like that. But whatever. Anyway,
I don't, I try to be friendly. I don't think there's any reason to be rude and nasty. I generally will shut them down and try to send them across the street or down the street to one of my neighbors. So I'm nice about that.
Yeah.
And yes, I always have pants when I open the door because I'm not the one that doesn't wear pants.
I don't answer the door with no pants on most of the time. Okay.
You don't ever.
Well, sometimes I take the garbage
out. The other
out.
thing I hate is with the Amazon. I order a lot from Amazon, obviously. Prime, hey, I'm as guilty as anybody. Like dog food, dog treats, dog puppy cat, whatever. Lots of stuff for the dog, apparently. It's cheaper on Amazon. So I order stuff, and every time they deliver something, they have to bang on the door before they leave. Yeah. Why are you banging on the door? Because then I have to spend 5 minutes calming down the crazy puppy.
I think part of it probably for them is that they are, because I do know that like if you say that you didn't get something, even if it shows that it was delivered, I think they will refund buyers. I think that they have a limit to it, but I think generally they will resend it out to you. So I'm guessing it's one of those things where they're like, we want to make it as most likely as possible.
Well, now they take a picture of where they're freaking leaving it in your
because stuff does get stolen. Like, I don't see that being as big of a problem here, but it's crazy. Like in Portland, back in Oregon, and even like in the small town I was living in, people steal packages off porches.
Oh, they do here too, just not in this particular neighborhood.
It happens a lot. But hey, it is No Pants Friday, which is our weekly AMA, Ask Me Anything, Ask Us Anything, Q&A. So
we've got 80+ people already watching, only 8 minutes in.
But yeah, Vicky, just before the show started, she's like, what are we talking about today? And I'm like, are you kidding? It's No Pants Friday. That's the awesome thing about No Pants Friday. We don't have to have anything to talk about because we're just basically going to blabbity blab blab for an hour or so. But
I would answer the door for a taco door-to-door salesperson, Connecticut girl, for sure.
Listen, if you were going to knock on my door and you're going to have something that I really want, I'll probably forgive you. I don't want pest control.
Any type of food product.
Stuff. Okay, if it's something that like, if it's pest control, if it's a vacuum cleaner, if it's like whatever, anything that like if I actually wanted it, I'm gonna go get it. I'm not gonna wait for somebody to like randomly show up my door and sell it to me. Anything now, if you show up with tacos, hell yeah. I'll be like, why are you knocking at my door? And they'll be like, we have tacos for you. And I'll be like, well, thank you very much.
Come on in.
I appreciate what you have to offer, and I would like to buy some of them from you. And once they're right in front of my face, I probably pay double what I pay at the store because I'd be like, I want to eat them right now.
Oh, Allison's gonna get her 4,000 question book. Oh, let me get my book.
But speaking of this whole super chat song, I don't know if any of you guys were watching the other night. It was last night. Casey, Rockstar Flipper, he did our super chat song, my super chat song, a couple of times upon request from people giving super chat money. I gotta say, he did okay. Here's the thing. He started out saying like, oh, well, I don't really know how it goes. And I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes. And then he like immediately went into the super chat song, complete with the hand motions. So
but he didn't have anybody to hit, or annoy.
That's true. What is happening right
I don't know. I've got this like devil horn sticking up.
But it was actually pretty funny. Was giggling at it. It was pretty funny. I do think we should get a cut of the action because
Casey does move like
we should get some sort of like residuals from that, right? Because it was not cleared with us first, guys. So
we did not copyright your super chat.
Let it be known. Let it be known. The war starts now with this video. Casey, Rockstar Flipper. Yeah, flip this, buddy. Flip this.
Really?
I don't know.
You just get another one.
It's Leoman. What? First of all, Leoman always likes to wait till we're like at least a good hour and 20 minutes into the show. So the fact that Leoman's like hopping in right now.
Sue him.
The fact that Leoman's jumping in right now, I think, is pretty awesome. Not only that, he's doubling down. He's going to a $10 super chat.
Woohoo!
Which is this is exactly why he has his own super chat song.
Yeah.
And this is like a double one.
All right.
So he's like, here's a super chat, here's a super chat, woo, 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 here's a super chat, here's a super chat, woo, 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 here's a super chat.
Good
You like that one?
I don't even know
See,
what that was.
You can't even resist the giggles. That's the thing.
It's ridiculous.
This one over here, sometimes she takes life and herself a bit too seriously. I know you'd be shocked to hear that.
I know.
But she cannot resist the comedy going on here, right?
I don't get that.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. Oh, big thrift Allison. I've only had people knocking on my door trying to sell me on Jesus Christ. Nothing scares them off faster than a pantsless lesbian.
Fair enough.
I hear that. Yeah, Hustle on the Low. That was the remix. Yeah, so seriously, April. So April apparently is just realizing that Monday is October. We were just talking about how like crazy fast this week has gone by, how crazy fast the summer went by. So yeah, October 1st, officially the start of quarter 4 of Q4. It's a Monday. And she says, so game on. Actually starting today, I already took photos for 2 hours. Yeah, seriously, guys, it is game on. Game on should be happening right now, but
I'm hoping you've
October
seen a
1st.
slight uptick in sales. I've started to in the last few weeks. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely been like, again, we talk about how it looks like an EKG chart, but it's always going to do that no matter what. Even when you're having like a crazy good month, it's always going to be up and down. But it's definitely true that over like the last few weeks, the last month or so, that EKG has been going a little bit higher.
Yeah, definitely so. And yes, everything sells in fourth quarter, honestly. I've still 98% of my items are used. Clothing, shoes, hard goods, collectibles, whatever. And I sell more in the fourth quarter than any other time of the year.
Oh yeah, you're going to definitely
people
see
are
a jump
just
in
the shopping mood.
Yeah. So
if you have items that are desirable, they just become more desirable in fourth quarter.
So you should have been like really buckling down and getting some listings up and getting ready for quarter 4 for sure. But you should definitely be really like ramping things up now.
Yeah.
Because you do not want to, if this is what you want to do, I mean, if you're a hobby seller, then whatever, do whatever you want. Like maybe you want to work less during the holidays. That's cool.
Right. Maybe you have stuff.
But if you are doing this for a living, if this is like actually what you want to do for a living, or you already are doing it for a living and you're full time, this is a really important time. So you need to make sure that you are just like pulling out all the stops and hitting it, because you're not going to be disappointed, and you need like the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter is what we all work towards. Like you want to have good sales throughout the whole year, but the fourth quarter is where it's like any struggles that you've been having coming up to it, it pays off. You're able to like hopefully put away a little bit of money and help you to get through the next time it gets a little slower. You want to get ahead. So you don't want to lose out on any of that.
It's true.
Anyway, guys, remember it is a Q&A AMA.
We do have a question.
Oh, we have a question. What's
Connecticut girl, for international sales, besides shipping label, does anything else need to be on there?
No.
Nope, just your label.
So for first class international, when you print out the label, so you print out just one label, just like any other label, except there's a place where you can sign it and put a little date on it. That's all that needs to go on the package. Depending on what shipping service you're using or what website you're using, they used to print out like 3 copies for priority international, and you would have to include those in a little envelope. Although, to be honest, I was not doing what I was supposed to be doing, and I was just attaching that first copy. And even with those, they've always gotten where they're supposed to be going. But I've noticed that now they've put those to one label as well.
Yeah, depending on what shipping service you're using, even priority is printing on one.
But we had somebody who had finally decided, like, I'm going to do my own international shipping. And she had her first international sale, and she got it all together, got her first class international label on there. And it was just one label. She took it to the post office. And the guy at the post office was like, where are the copies at? You need to have copies. And she had to go back and forth with them. And then she was like, what did I do wrong? Did I mess it up? And so I'm like, the people that work at the post office don't always know everything. Sometimes they're wrong. And also, if somebody works at the post office, they may not be totally aware of how it works online. If you go to the post office and you buy international postage, you do fill out this little form, and it's got multiple copies on it, even if it's first class. But when you do it online, you only get that one label, and that is the way it's supposed to be if there's not supposed to be any copies. So anyway.
Let's see. For both of us, what are our goals for the next 2 years? Go first.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
All right. I mean, I want to build up my sales a little bit more. And I also want to, like last year, I did like about 86,000 gross. And it was pretty much all on eBay. It was pretty negligible what I did on Etsy. This year, my goal was to do 100,000 gross. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit that. I might end up being the same as I was last year. And a lot of that had to do with like just not very good sales during the summer with all the glitches and everything going on. I think that, and with the way they changed the whole sales thing and having to wait 14 days, I really do think that it had a big impact on eBay sales. Now I'm going into fourth quarter with more stuff listed than I've ever had before. I don't know, maybe I'll make up for it, but I'm hoping to hit at least 85, 100. I would say for the next 2 years, as far as sales go, between eBay and Etsy, I mean, it'd be nice to be able to easily break that 100,000 figure every year. I don't have a lot of plans for like expanding beyond that. But I do want to have more, bringing other revenues of income. And one of them is YouTube. Somebody has a question about when we started on YouTube, but we'll get into that in a second. So why don't you talk about what your goals are for the next year?
My goals are similar to yours. So we actually have very similar dollar amounts. Last year, I think I did 84,000 or 85,000 gross on eBay. Again, very negligible. I think I maybe did $500 on Etsy last year.
It was pretty low.
Same thing. My goal was to do $100,000 this year. Again, I may or may not get there. I'm not entirely sure. I'm at about 80,000 year to date, I believe, or just under 80,000 year to date. According to my PayPal reports, which I looked at today because of Heather from Exclusive Elegance, because she posted something on Instagram and I've never looked at that report before. So that's that. And then my goal is the same thing. I'd like to consistently do 6 figures. Maybe if I do hit it this year, maybe increase by 10% at least year over year, 10 to 15%. That's always my goal. I would like to bring someone, make enough so that I can bring someone on, if not full-time, close to full-time, whether that be Dana, or if she's interested, or I may have to get 2 people. I don't know. Because I do want to expand. I'm not looking to go any bigger than that, but I am looking to get enough help that I can send some, put some more listings up so that I can make more money. And I'm not interested in using a virtual lister. So I am interested in having somebody work out of my home. So it has to be somebody I know and trust. And right now that's only Dana. And I'm not quite at the point where I can pay her for more than what we're already doing. So we'll see. So that's it for me. And then as far as YouTube, I think we both have, we have goals with YouTube as far as growing it.
I officially started the channel this time last year. Actually, it was in September of last year. It was after eBay Open, and I started the channel. I did very sporadic videos here and there. The version that it is now, I mean, if you look like this particular show, we're on the 13th episode and we do it every week. But if you look at Sunday Live Haul, that's our initial show. That's like on episode 27 or 26 or 27, and we haven't missed that yet. So we're about halfway. So really, it's been about 6 months that it's been the version that it is right now.
Yeah. And we have, how many subscribers? 4,300 or something like that?
Yeah, I think we're getting close to 4,300 subscribers. So, it's actually been pretty quickly that it's grown. I mean, I know a lot of people that struggle a long time.
We only had 1,000. We only had 1,000 heading into July, I think.
Something like, well, no, we had to do that. But yeah, I remember my goal was like, I wanted to hit 3,000 initially my goal was I wanted to hit 1,000 by the time we got to eBay Open. And then I changed that to 3,000, ended up hitting 3,000 like the week after Open. And now we're at about 4,300. So anywho, the big drift, Allison wants to know, what's the most exciting thing you have done on a dare?
I've never done anything on a dare.
I don't know if I've played Truth or Dare before for sure, but I can't think of anything particularly exciting that other than just
I probably like something like streaking when I was a kid. Like what that was when I used to play Truth or Dare was when you were a teenager, right? So teenager sleepover parties, that type of thing. probably running out into the neighborhood naked and running back inside, that type of thing.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the worst thing I ever did on a dare.
Yeah, I can't think of
Not
any.
very exciting
Didn't have
at all.
very exciting ones at all. DJ wants to know if we ship APO, FPO, military. Yeah, because I mean, it's no different.
It's just
like
shipping within the
you
US.
you kind of have to do a similar thing to an international label where it's like a little. Don't you have to fill out like a little form thing? But it's all like auto populated within eBay, so it's not hard. And then the cost is the same. Like it could be going to a base in Germany, but you only pay. It's just
You're
like
paying your domestic rate.
Yeah, so I've never understood why people will like exclude that or anything like that. I think it's just the same thing with international shipping where there's like this misconception. There's a misconception that it's like really complicated and difficult, and it's actually not. So
we've got lots of people popping in here and saying hello. How about you? Weirdest thing you've ever sold? One witch lady asked.
Weirdest thing I've ever sold. I want you to take that one. Do you have one?
I've sold a lot of weird stuff over the years.
Because like I've only sell clothing now, and I did hard goods for a very short amount of time, and so I don't know.
Weirdest thing. So weird. I sold a vintage speculum, an electric speculum. That's a little weird. Yeah, if you don't know what that is, please look it up. And I sold a vintage taxidermied rat, but I've also sold a taxidermied chicken, a taxidermied pheasant.
Yeah, you've probably done more of the weird stuff.
I've sold, I mean, because I've been selling for so long and a lot of what I used to sell was antique and vintage and collectible, I have sold some really weird crap before. I sold a doll that was supposedly haunted. Ooh. It was a doll that I'd picked up, an antique doll that I'd picked up in Massachusetts a bazillion years ago, and it was the most mashed up, ugly, beat to heck composition doll with a cracked, peeling face and one eyeball closed. And I sold it as a haunted doll, and I actually had sold it for way more than I would have because I said that it was haunted, and it was in auction, and this was back when auctions used to do crazy things. Yeah. And then I had the customer that purchased it want to return it because she was having nightmares. And
that's pretty funny.
I didn't let her, but that was back when you could make those choices.
One heck of a thrifter said the weirdest is probably that Broncos sweater. At least that's the ugliest one. Somebody else had, Angie's in the house with a sweet new profile picture of a raccoon, which I can totally get on board with. So Emily Luley says that she double dog dares me to turn my hair pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Not going to happen. First of all, us both with pink hair would be ridiculous, which I appreciate ridiculous things, but not those kind of ridiculous things. Secondly, that would entail me bleaching my hair, and it's like, that's not going to happen.
Well, you could get quite a bit in where the grays are, but, you know.
How dare you? How dare you?
Hey, I'm not judging. My hair's white under this crap.
Sorry, I have some very distinguished salt and pepper throughout my hair. Anyway, and somebody had asked, Jessica, I think Jessica had asked if we'd seen growth in our Etsy store this year compared to last year. You know what, Jessica, we can't really speak to that because
we're both brand new, branching back into Etsy.
Yeah, because
last couple months,
the beginning of 2017, I was like, I'm going to try doing Etsy, and I think I got up about 100 listings at my max, and so I had a few sales there, and then after I'd only done that for like maybe a few weeks, and then I like never went back to Etsy. So like randomly throughout the year, I'd sell something. Well, I recently, like a couple months ago, decided to go back into Etsy because of all the issues that were going on eBay. I'm like, I got to figure out some other ways to bring money in. And so now I just passed 600 listings on Etsy. I've been super dedicated to putting up new listings every single day on Etsy as well as eBay. So yeah, I've got way more sales than I did last year, but you can't really compare because I'm doing things very differently this year, and I'm actually taking care of the store.
Yeah, last year I threw up about 200 items on Etsy like a year and a half ago, and I didn't touch it again until 2 months ago.
Yeah, so we can't really speak to any kind of trends.
No, we don't do Mercari. I've actually never even been on the site. I've never been on Posh or Mercari. So let's see. Another question. How old are we? I'm 43, and Katie is 39.
39. I'm a little baby.
Yeah.
Well,
as opposed to the person that made a comment on our video, something about mother and daughter.
I
can
was laughing
seriously
so,
tell.
I was laughing so
I
hard.
know that we have an age difference, but it's 4 freaking years.
Well,
okay? I don't look
to
old.
be fair, I do dress like a 12-year-old boy.
I don't think I look old enough to be your mother.
I dress like a 12-year-old boy.
Granted, I have some bags now these days.
Listen, Mom. Just chill out.
See?
Do you hear that?
Doorbell.
Great.
No idea
Great.
what that
So we're
is.
gonna, and it's like, it wasn't just like a doorbell ring. It's like, oh, let's hit it 3 times.
I haven't ordered anything from Amazon either, so that's a solicitor.
Yeah, last time it was like, what were they? I don't even know what they were asking for. So now we get to hear Grizz bark a couple times. Oh yeah, it was. See, they were delivering something. You can hear the.
Oh, that's my FedEx delivery. That's what I thrifted in Michigan.
Treasure Hustler said 33.
Sorry.
Bless you. 33 and 37. Not too bad.
Thank you for that lie.
Not too bad.
I appreciate that. Maybe not on her part because I know she looks very young, but yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, whatever. 15-year-old boy.
And Cheryl, happy unemployment or happy retirement or happy here's to your start of your full-time online reseller status because you've been pushed into doing that.
Yeah. Sometimes that's what it takes. You kind of have to, when it's like necessity forces you to make it happen. Sometimes that's what it takes. You know, we get a lot of people asking like, or talking about how they want to quit their jobs to do eBay full time. And it's super scary, especially if you're losing benefits or anything like that. I know for me, it was like, I was already in a position where I had to build up my income to a full-time income within a 6-month period. So it's like, I didn't have a choice.
I did the same. I had lost my job, same type of thing. So it will be 8 years in December since I've actually had a real job. I lost my job, decided to go back to school full-time, and I needed to replace, if not all of my income that I had before. I had to replace the majority of it. And I was able to do that very quickly. I was already a part-time seller. I just ramped it up. And now I have surpassed that income, but I work far more hours than I did.
So Sir Thrifts a lot is, this is a question I think we get from like a lot of people. I started selling August 2017, basically talking about, you know, sales with how many listings he has. And then now that he's got like way more listings, he still is not getting over that same amount. Crazy variety of items, just can't get over an average of 1.5 to 2 sales per day. Here's the thing, there's, you know, it is a struggle, but there's a lot of information that we would need before we would be able to make any kind of assessment. Are you in the Boss Facebook group? Because if you're not in the Boss Facebook group, you should join, and the link is down below. If you are in the group, I would suggest, if you are feeling up to the challenge, we encourage anybody that like has similar kind of questions to make a post, share your store, and welcome some constructive criticism. We will be nice.
And if you're interested, maybe ask for a store review. We're trying to do them once a month, so I think we're due
a live store review. So we don't do store reviews privately because we don't have time, but we'll do one as a show. But anyway, it's like there's so many factors that go into it. I mean, it could be that we could look at your store and like within 5 minutes be like, oh, I can see what a lot of the problems are. So, but just as a question, like what you're asking, it's too broad and there's too many factors that go into it. So
but yeah, I mean, we'd be happy to do it either next week or the week after, I think. Do we have plans for next Wednesday's show?
Possibly.
Yeah.
We possibly do. So we got to figure that out.
Pending information on whether we'll be doing something or not. So
yeah. So Juliana says, is it worth a call to eBay if I received a neutral and negative when I offered free returns? The neutral is returning, the negative didn't open a return, just complain. I mean, it depends on what the free returns isn't going to have anything to do with you getting a neutral or a negative.
No.
Okay. And generally the way eBay sees it is if it's an opinion, if they're like, whatever, an opinion.
This is ugly. It doesn't fit me right. This blue is not blue. It was brown. Anything that a customer wants to say, as long as it's an opinion based, and
they're probably going to leave it.
Let it stand.
Now, if it's something like I've had an international buyer leave something about how the shipping was too high, and I'm like, the shipping is stated in the listing. It's like you can't complain about the shipping when you agreed to pay the amount that it costs to have it shipped to you.
They got rid of that one?
Oh yeah. Because somebody
Look
can't.
at this hair. Jeez, I got this. I'm sorry, my hair's growing back, so I've got these crazy baby hairs sticking straight out.
Or it's like, you know, if it's something like I had a guy who had ordered something and he said it hadn't arrived, and then he like left negative feedback, but I had the case closed in my favor because it showed delivered. Well, you can't have a negative feedback saying that you never got the item. Like they're going to allow you to. So yeah, it just depends.
And
on
they can't reference any type of eBay case, PayPal case, or use any type of profanity. So if any of those things have been used, then definitely call and you will get it removed. But otherwise, if it's an opinion, their opinion is allowed to stand, whether it's factual or bullshit, it's an opinion.
Yeah.
And you know, nobody really likes that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Just keep selling, get positives to bury it.
Yeah, it's not really that big of a deal. I've had a couple of neutrals and I don't really care because it doesn't in any way impact your overall numbers. And, you know, overwhelmingly, all of my feedbacks are positive and say really good things. So, and sometimes I've had people do positive feedback, but then like the text of what they say is like super negative. It's like a complaint. And I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, whatever, who cares? I don't care. The only time I ever try to do anything about it is if it is a negative and I don't feel like it's my fault, then I will make an attempt to get it removed. But
we both have merch by Amazon accounts. The only thing on mine is my LV Pink Panther shirts. The only thing on hers are Boss Up shirts.
Yeah, those are
which are design.
Which are in. Well, we just haven't. What do you mean?
Yeah, we haven't. Well, we haven't designed anything.
Yeah.
Really.
No.
I don't have any time.
I do. I have the Boss Up shirts that are down below. I actually am a graphic designer. I have done graphic design. And I just haven't gotten around to doing more shirts. Like there's only so many things I can do in the day, and that's not high on my priority list. But so currently it's just basically merch for people who want to get like a sweet Boss Up shirt. But anywho,
let's see.
And do we sell Amazon FBA? Not really. I used to. Technically, they still have some of my stuffs, but I have not sent anything in for like 2 years.
They still have some of your stuff?
Yeah, just a little bit.
And you're paying a storage fee?
It's like literally like a handful. It's still for sale.
Oh,
I'm not.
I would be like, why don't you just have it home?
Because it's not stuff I want to sell from on eBay. So it's like all new, like retail arbitrage type stuff. Anywho.
Yeah, Juliana, I have one negative feedback too. My feedback today was actually pretty cool. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought that was. I had to take a picture of it for Instagram.
She was real excited that was going to happen.
But yeah, I have one negative feedback. I got it back in January for a like $9 item that they said the item was never received, and they put a negative feedback, but yet they never contacted me about any of it. And
yeah, Juliana says that she was really proud of her 100% feedback until this week. Here's the thing, like I'm sure all of you, if not most of you, use like Yelp or Google or whatever anytime you're gonna like go out to eat at a restaurant or use like go to a certain business. I have never in my life seen 5 out of 5 stars. It just does not happen. If it's like a really amazing restaurant, it's going to be 4.5 stars, 600 reviews, whatever. But it literally never.
Somebody's always going to complain.
Go on Amazon, and anytime you're shopping on Amazon, there literally is pretty like never a 5-star review average for any product or anything. People are not expecting perfection. And so don't let yourself get hung up on that. It's great that you had 100% for as long as you did. It does fall off after 12 months. So you could go back to 100%, but don't get hung up on it.
Joan had a question. Can you do a video on putting up a merch shirt? Probably not, because we do tend to focus a little bit more on eBay and Etsy here, and we really don't do much with merch.
There's lots of YouTubers.
There really are lots of YouTubers that show you exactly how to design, how to upload. Honestly, Google YouTube videos on merch by Amazon.
I think Hustler Hacks. I know he does like a lot of merch by Amazon. Him and Hustlebee. And so if you look at Hustler Hacks YouTube, I'm sure that there's probably, I know he's done like videos on how to design a shirt or how to research like ideas and see if they've been used already before. I can pretty much guarantee you if you go back in his videos, he probably has covered like the process.
There's a lot of them. I know Chris Green is another person that does a lot with merch and has done a lot of videos. Yeah,
that's a whole nother community. And so, I mean, obviously there's some overlap, but that's like a whole nother community. They have like, there's going to be like tons of videos and stuff like that out there. So,
yeah, there are some excellent videos on there, and with the amount that we've done, literally I've done 1, she's done 4 or 5. We're not the experts to be doing a video on it.
Yeah, no. I mean, I barely even talk about Etsy just because it's like, I'll talk about selling on it, but I'm not going to give advice about it just because it's like I don't have enough experience to draw from. Whereas eBay, I kind of feel like I know some things.
There you go. Margaret, Texas Gal Treasures, does lots of merch videos. She's another YouTuber that has some great videos.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of them. Honestly, just Google. We're not the experts to do something on that one. Honestly.
Yeah. So sorry. Anyway, what other questions we got? What we got?
There was a couple back there further that I saw.
I do want to say, guys, seriously. So I was outside getting the mail today, and I was thinking, like, the weather's amazing. I'm like, perfect. I can't believe it's like almost October, and it feels like the middle of summer in Oregon. So I'm from Oregon, and it's like gorgeous outside, just like perfect temperature, blue skies. I'm loving it. But so here it's like technically getting to be fall, which is ridiculous because it's still like 100 degrees outside. So all the savers are bringing out all their jackets, and I have been in like heaven. And we spent all day yesterday. So Thursday's the day that I usually do my all day sourcing day.
We really
and you've gone with me a couple times, guys. It was ridiculous. Like I swear, every store, we went to 6 stores, every single one we found at least 1 or 2 showstopper things where it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just found this. This is awesome.
And I didn't buy a lot of clothing.
We were going crazy. The first 4 stores, we got so much stuff that afterwards Vicky was like, oh, do you think, we probably have bought enough. Do you really think we need to go into any more stores? And then she was kind of like, okay, obviously you're going to want to. So I'm like, okay, come on. I'm like, we're going to go to the last 2 stores. We're going to go in. We're going to limit it to like 15 minutes. I'm like, I'm not even going to look at t-shirts because I have so many that I still need to list right now. I'm like, I won't even look at t-shirts in these ones. I just want to go look at the jackets. And man, I'm so glad that we did, because again, those last 2 stores, the one store, I'm like, I went back there. There was like the lady was like pulling stuff off the rack to go. It's like the go out rack to go put it away. And it was the piece that I need. It was probably the best piece I got all day long. And I'm like, thank God we went. So
she got some cool stuff. I got some cool stuff. I'm excited for Sunday's haul show to show you guys some of our really cool stuff.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. So Big Drip Trip, Allison,
questions.
Can you confess 3 tiny faults and 1 giant one?
Katie doesn't have any faults. Just ask her.
Well, I was going to confess my 3 tiny faults and 1 giant fault.
Oh, okay.
I don't have time admitting to it. Well, I would say my giant one probably would be procrastination. That would probably be my biggest, I would think. Yeah. So, I mean, as far as tiny, I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know if it's a tiny fault or a big fault or what, but I am a bit of a know-it-all. I think that, so are you though. I think that it's like a blessing and a curse. That I do think I know quite a bit, but then it gets me into the false headspace that I know everything, and that's not the case. And you got to be flexible and be willing to consider other possibilities. I probably like to eat delicious food a little too much. So I don't have like a huge problem with I don't really care that much about like weight and stuff like that. I don't have a huge problem with it, but I do have to be a little careful, or else if I just ate everything I wanted all the time, I would probably be at an unhealthy weight. So I don't know.
You and me both. I eat food 3 times a day and I'm at an unhealthy weight. It doesn't even matter if I'm eating salad.
So I do have to be like a little bit careful with that. Although I personally think that that's like a good thing, because it's like, you have those people who have like crazy good metabolisms, so they can just eat whatever they want. It's like, just because you're not gaining weight when you eat like a bunch of junk, I still think it's not great for your body. So
you need to eat healthy.
So I almost feel like they're at a disadvantage because they're not getting the normal cues that like, hey, you shouldn't be putting this in your body all the time.
I would like that disadvantage personally. Treasure hush list. See, I wish. Yeah, exactly. I wish. Thanks.
I'm trying to think of like what another tiny one would be. I would say I can get overly defensive sometimes, would be one. I don't think it's like a huge problem, but it can be. But yeah, I'd say my biggest one is definitely procrastination. What's yours?
Let's see. It may be a fault. It may be a good thing. I am overly forgiving.
I think it's both.
I will almost to a fault. Yes, I will give someone 800 chances. But when they screw me over for the 801st time, when you're dead to me, you're dead to me. Like, that's how I am. Like, there's very little coming back from that.
Yeah.
But it takes me a real long time to get there. And I am very forgiving in nature, because if you are genuinely sorry for something you've said or something you've done or some way you've wronged me, then I am more than willing to listen to you, hear you out, and forgive. I don't always forget. I'm not that naive,
but see,
but I will forgive.
I think where you become too forgiving is that, like, I think people deserve chances. Lord knows, like, I've had second, third chances with people in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but the key part to that is that the person getting the second chance needs to be like willing to do something or change something. And I think that you have a tendency to, like, you give people multiple chances and they haven't really done anything to show that they are even like willing to
deserving
work for that.
of it. Yeah,
right.
I agree.
And so that's
I agree. So that's where it's kind of.
But
it's
you're
kind
very
of a fault.
kind. So you're very kind, and that's a good thing.
I am also very stubborn, because I think that I'm correct most of the time. And I think that's part of one of those double-edged swords. You know, I think it comes with being very intelligent. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn by saying that. I know that I'm very intelligent, and not necessarily that I've, triple PhD or anything like that. I do very well with critical thinking. I read a lot. I've always been well-read. I think I'm intelligent. So because I think I'm intelligent, I can be overly critical of people that I don't feel are up to par.
Yeah.
If that's probably two faults rolled into one, like
probably
stubborn, and because like people like used to make fun of me, like grammar police. That's me. I am totally judging you if you misuse there, and there, or you and your. I will not correct you unless you're a really close friend, because my friends do know that I will correct them, but I'm totally judging you. Let's see, like my biggest fault, probably sensitive. Probably that I'm too sensitive.
Yeah. Well,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that you like are reactive, I would say, which probably is part of being sensitive.
Yes, I'm overly reactive, where Katie can be like, nah. Like I've said before, like she's got this trait where if somebody doesn't like her, doesn't like something about her, she's like, nah, whatever. What's wrong with them?
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I do that very popular female thing where I internalize everything. Where I'm like, oh my God, somebody doesn't like me. What's wrong with me? What did I do? Oh my God, why don't they like me? What did what do I need to change? So yeah. Anyway, that's probably my biggest fault. I care a little bit too much. I'm too sensitive.
Treasure Hustlers wants to know who's smarter.
I think we're pretty equally matched.
Mm.
I have to be honest. I think Katie is one of the most intelligent people I've ever met, and I personally need to be with a partner that is equal or smarter than I am. I need to be challenged, and she does that. So yeah. I think we're both very, very intelligent in different areas. A lot in the same areas, because we do have very similar personality traits about some things. Yeah. And then there are other things, like she's much more analytical than I am.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And as far as who is more caring, I think that would be you. I think you are.
I'm maybe more nurturing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm more outwardly nurturing. Like I'm definitely the very maternal, caring person with my friends, with my family, with the different causes that I interact with.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as who's funnier, definitely Katie. Definitely Katie. I'm very dry, and I do know that I do have a good sense of humor, and I can be funny and goofy, but she's definitely.
Yeah. And I'm a very caring person. I'm just not in touch so much with that kind of emotional. I mean, she'll try to like disagree with me about like empathy and stuff like that. My empathy comes more from if this makes sense at all, from like an analytical standpoint. Like it's almost like a logical. Like I'm like, okay, I can understand that if you come from this perspective, you might feel like this. And so I can understand it. But as far as like being one of those people, like when you see people where it's like somebody says something that's going on with their day that they have a really hard time with, like you're the type of person that it's very easily comes from you to be like, oh, I'm so sorry you're going through that. And you can like have a conversation and like try to like help them to, I guess, address whatever it is that goes on, or just make them feel better. And I just don't have that in me. I'm more likely if we're face to face and you tell me something really hard you're going through, I'm more likely to like freeze up and to be like, I don't know how to respond to you right now, because it's hard to deal with the emotional stuffs. That's kind of like how I am. I don't know.
Katie is like Spock.
A little bit. I mean, it's true, a little bit.
Who's better at bartering at garage sales or estate sales? I think it's me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't have any problem doing that. I think that she just has like she does it a lot more because of the type of stuff that she buys. I mean, I've done plenty of it myself. I just don't usually operate that way because I don't need to. But I mean, I used to, back when I was in Oregon, I had certain stores where I knew I could actually negotiate prices and stuff like that. So I'm willing to, but she does it a lot more often. She's definitely better
Do we
at it.
dress up for Halloween sometimes? This year, I don't think we are doing a costume. I think we have friends that are coming into town that land on Halloween in the morning. My best friends actually from New England are coming in, and they're going to be staying with us. And we are actually going to Universal Studios that week to go and do the Halloween Horror Night thing, which is pretty awesome. We're excited, the four of us. So that's going to be our Halloween craziness. We'll probably just hand out candy to the kids, maybe take my friend's daughter trick-or-treating. I've done that the past couple of years.
I love Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays and favorite time of year because I love like horror movies and stuff like that. I haven't dressed up in a really long time.
Really?
Yeah, I'm more likely to, what I've tended to do in the past is I love on Halloween watching a bunch of horror movies, like having like a whole like marathon of horror movies. Like that's kind of like my jam. Dressing up,
so we probably aren't. I haven't dressed up last year or this year. I do dress up usually, but I don't have any plans to do so this year. Unless our friends that are coming in want to dress up, then maybe we'll work on some type of costume. We actually are doing something in the middle of October that Dana is also doing with us that we did last year. It's called the Roper Romp. And
dress up for that.
And we do dress up for that. And it's everybody dresses up like Mr. or Mrs. Roper. And
last year it was everybody. Last year everybody was Mrs. Roper. This year they're saying that they welcome
Mr. Roper,
Roper as well. So I'll probably do Mr. Roper. So Joan has a good question. We've talked about this stuff before, but she wants to know, how do you handle everyday struggles that can happen and always seem so positive?
Oh, we're not always positive.
Yeah.
I mean, we are generally when we're on the air because you guys make us laugh and we're answering questions and we're, doing fun stuff. But I think we have our negative days just like everybody else.
Well, yeah, I've talked about this. Like I do my own share of, bitching and complaining if things aren't going my way or ranting around the house and stuff like that. But I will say overall, I do tend to be the one who as quickly as possible, I want to look at the positive side, or I want to look at like, how do we fix this? Kind of being more proactive. And like we were just saying, how Vicky's more reactive. And so her first go-to is to be like, everything's falling apart.
Burn the house down.
We're never going to be able to do this. My sales are down. We're going to have to move. And I'm like, okay, except for the fact that it costs thousands of dollars to move. And like, I don't know how you think that's a solution. But, so her tendency is definitely, so, we go through the same struggles as everybody does. It's just that, once you kind of get through, I think everybody, you get to have a moment where you're just like freaking the F out. Like you get to be like, especially depending on what it is. I mean, if you just got diagnosed with cancer, I'm sorry, you probably get to have a little bit of time to be upset about it. I think that that's valid, and anger, frustration, all of those feelings are totally valid feelings. I think that you need to be conscious of the fact that at some point you have to take those feelings and use them to move towards a solution and not dwell on them and not focus on them.
You're allowed to have a day. Like I let myself have a day sometimes.
Yeah.
And then once I've had that one day being miserable or grouchy or down, then I make myself like,
because what they say like a day is fine, but once it becomes a week, then maybe you have a problem that you need to address. Because there's for me, a lot of times what I do is I think about the fact that there are a lot of people out there that have it way worse than I do. Like I've got, and that's not to discount anybody's feelings. Like everything's relative. People, you can be miserable and have $1 million. You can be miserable and be homeless, or you can be happy and be homeless. It's like, however, for me, having some perspective and thinking like, you know what, other people are really struggling in a lot of ways that I don't even have to worry about. I'm really blessed. And, I might be having a hard time right now, but tomorrow it's going to be okay. And sometimes you just have to take it an hour at a time or a day at a time and deal with it.
And Treasure Hustlers, are you going to the one in LA? Yes, that is the one that we're going to, the Universal Studios thing. Allison, if you were offered a senior discount, would you take it? Hells yeah. I'll take any discount. I don't care.
Like, are you saying like, would we take it? Like, I mean, I'll take any discount I can take. I'm not going to be like, I'm not that old. I'll be like, all right, hook me up. Hook me up.
That's fine.
Give it to me.
Exclusive Elegance asked earlier up, from all these personal questions, have you learned something new answering them on live shows about each other? A little bit. But probably not too much. Honestly, I could probably answer these questions for her, and I think she could answer them for me.
Here's the thing:
like we've only been together for a year, but
when we started dating, I was in Oregon and she was here in Vegas, And so we had like our regular lives that we had to live and work and everything like that. But every night, like, you know, once we were done with work, we would be on the phone or on like a video call or whatever. And like literally, like I think the shortest one ever may have been 2 or 3 hours, but as much as like 4 hours. So every single night we were talking like
7 days
average,
a week
for an average of
4 hours.
Yeah, 3 to 4 hours a night
for almost 5 months.
Yeah. And so it's like having that time to only talk to each other. It's like we learned a lot about each other at that time. So I don't know. We talk a lot. We hang out. We're like buddies. We're best buds, man.
So we do talk a lot. We that's the thing about an open, I don't know, relationship. Like we talk.
Not that kind of open relationship, guys.
Oh no, I don't share well. No.
But yeah, but just being with somebody who you have a lot in common with and you can talk and stuff like that. So it's the U-Haul effect. It's true. It's true.
All right, did take 5 months though. It wasn't the second date. So, almost 5 months before she moved in.
How did we meet? We met technically we met online through the reseller community such as this, through Facebook groups and stuff. But we met like face to face at eBay Open last year. So July of 2017 is when we actually met face to face. And before we met face to face, we just knew of each other.
Acquaintances.
We were really just like reseller acquaintances, like many of you are with each other. But yeah, that was basically it. So eBay is responsible for this little love story.
How do you de-stress?
How do you
de-stress?
Question.
We both really like and enjoy sourcing and thrifting. I know that sounds like that's work too, but I think that that's something we both really like to do. So getting out of the house and doing that kind of stuff, garage sales, thrifting, I know it's work, but for us, it's a good way to spend money. It's kind of a productive way to go and spend money.
But let's just make a point here. It's productive and a good way to spend money if your shit's listed. Okay,
that's true.
So because of the way like that, we're really lucky that we come at this with very similar mindsets and like the way that we work. Because it probably would be hard if we were both doing this full time and like she was like, getting stuff listed and I was just like hoarding stuff and like not like just sourcing all the time and not bothering to actually list. We have a struggle.
Yeah,
but we have very similar philosophies in how we operate. And so because we actually list our stuff within basically probably about a week of when we buy it, when we go source, it is productive because we're buying good stuff that sells and we're immediately getting it listed. So like last week you were like, hey, you want to go have a date night at the swap meet? And that was like our Friday night date. It's like we went to the swap meet, had a couple of beers and bought stuff for our businesses.
And we do live in Vegas. So, I mean, sometimes we go see, I love live music. We go see live music. Sometimes we have friends that are in bands and stuff like that. Or we go and we'd like to go to casinos and like play penny slots a little bit here and there. And
yeah, we like to do that. We're going tonight to a birthday party. So
that is at a cabana at a casino, but there's a casino there. So
yeah,
I'm sure we'll play a couple of slots. And yes, Katie does have beautiful eyes.
Aw, thank you. They're my blue eyes. I made them myself. Not really. I think my mom and dad probably made that happen.
They may have.
They may have had something to do with that.
Yeah, Joan, let us know when you're here in Henderson. If we can meet up, we absolutely will try to. Anybody that comes to visit Las Vegas and wants to try to meet up, go thrifting or go grab some tacos or coffee, whatever. As long as we're able to do it and we're in town, absolutely, we'll try to.
Oh, speaking of,
and we won't charge you.
Speaking of, so Vicky just recently set up a Facebook group that's specifically for local resellers in the larger Vegas area. We're not doing like a meetup.com group because it's just like it costs money and like who cares? Like Facebook's about a place to do it.
Yeah, it's a waste of money.
It's a waste of money. So she just set that up and we're trying to like, gradually add in as many local people as possible. So if you are in the Las Vegas area and you have not yet been added to that group, message either myself or Vicky. Or if you're somebody, let's say you're somebody who you come to Vegas multiple times a year or you live nearby, like in California or Arizona, and it's something that you actually would come to anytime you were in town.
And maybe if we have a big meetup, if some eBay exec shows up or something like that, you maybe want to make the trip. If you're interested,
just let us know.
Send one of us a message, but you will need to be on Facebook.
And then we'll send you a link to the group, and then you can go and request to join, and we'll put you in.
Yeah, it's not gonna, I'm not gonna spam you with information. It's really gonna be just to talk about the monthly meetup, where the location is gonna be, and maybe topic ideas or something
it's mainly
like that.
just for logistics.
It's not gonna be a
whole nother
chatting group. It's not gonna be anything about eBay or anything like that. It's just gonna be for the meetup stuff. So how did we grow our channel so fast? Actually, I don't think it's that fast.
It actually is fast. Here's the thing. This is what happens when you got negative Nelly over here. It's like our channel we haven't gained as many subscribers this month as we did last month. And she's like, sends me a message and she's pretty,
That's it.
She's basically like, do you think we peaked? Are we boring now? Like, are people over us now? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, first of all, we got a pretty good bump after open.
But we met so many people.
We are growing much faster than a lot of, I mean, there's a million channels out there, and a lot of people really struggle to get their first 100, to get their first few hundred. I was really lucky that I was a Shine Award winner this last year, and so I had a bit of a platform to start, and that's why I started the channel then anyway, because I knew, like, hey, I've got a platform right now. People know who I am a little bit. And it's a good way to get started. So that was like, I kind of had a head start with that. Otherwise, what I would say, a lot of it for us is it just has to do with, first of all, you want to be yourself. Just be normal. Like, don't try to force it. Be honest and transparent.
We get thumbs down all the time. You know, there are certainly people that don't like us.
We got 2 thumbs down right now, guys.
There are certainly people that don't like us. So it is what it is. That's fine. You know, what you see is what you get. That's the one thing that I have to say. And
I think that's what people I think that's what people appreciate is that
this is it. You can ask us any question. We're going to answer any question. We are very transparent. We're transparent about our numbers. We're transparent about who we are as people. We're transparent about our process. I'm not just putting up there and saying, hey, combined, we did $16,000 last month. We did, but that's not what we netted. You know, we work at 2 individual people, 2 individual stores.
And that was working ourselves into the ground. So it's
we work our butts off.
I think, you know, I've been saying this lately, that I think, like, to me, our channel is about 3 different things. It's like we are definitely entertaining, or we try to be entertaining. So I think a lot of people think we're funny out. I might not be everybody's cup of tea. I'm sure there's people out there who come to look at this channel and they're like, she is a little bit much.
Well, you know, the same people that think we look like mother and daughter.
She's a little obnoxious, and that's totally cool. But, you know, I try to be entertaining and silly and fun, and hopefully that, like, is attractive
East
to some
Coast
people.
boxing clicked because of my hair.
And then secondly, we do try to be educational. Like, we really do try. Like, I feel like we have a lot of knowledge. We have a lot of experience. And I think that we come at things between the 2 of us from a very like logical and well thought out point of view. And so I think that we're helpful. And I think, like, when we do our haul videos and stuff, we always take care to take the time to explain the things that we buy and why we buy them and why they sell, so that people can learn from that. And then the third thing is just, there is this focus on trying to be proactive and positive, and not like blindly positive, like everything's happy at all times.
Positive.
But yeah, but it's about like taking control of your life, taking control of your business, and being proactive and looking, you know, trying to look at everything as an opportunity as opposed to an obstacle. And so those 3 things, if that's something that is something you can relate to, or something that you need in your life, then hopefully this channel brings that to you. And it's not going to be for everybody. Some people want to watch channels that are more about drama, or that are more on the negative side, and that's fine. Everybody,
and some people want to watch just haul videos, and that's okay too. Everybody learns something from, you know, whatever. Joan asked a question a couple times. Are you located very close to Sunset Station in Henderson? Yeah, we're about 5 miles away. We're not far from that at all. We live closer to Green Valley Ranch, if you happen to know what that is. That's in the district. That's a different casino in Henderson, but yeah.
Red Robin Resellers says, I think y'all are great. I've been selling over 14 years and have still learned a lot from both of you. Rarely get to make the live show, so happy camper, even though I'm late.
Thank you. I learn a lot from everybody. You know, I will pop in and watch different videos by different resellers, and this is new for me too. I was not big on watching anything on YouTube. So like in the last 6 months to a year, I've started to follow back and watch other resellers, mostly because I've gotten to know them through YouTube and through them watching us and being active with us. So I try to, you know, reciprocate and watch when I can. And I learned something on every single show. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what their level of sales experience is. It may be that they sell stuff entirely different than I do, or do things entirely different than I do, and that's okay. But I learn a little bit from everybody, as Frenchie calls it, or I think Wade calls it, little nuggets of information every time. So, hopefully we can, do the same and share a little bit. If somebody gets a little something out of every show, that's worth it. So,
and personally, it's like I think we're growing pretty fast. You think it's a little slower. Personally, I would rather it just be organic. I don't want to be gimmicky. I don't want to try to figure it out. Like, okay, what are the people wanting now? I'm like, as long as we're
put some
growing,
clickbait titles in.
Well, as long as we're growing at a decently steady rate, which I think we are, and as long as people are engaging with us, which is clear that they are because they come and they participate, then I just like doing things the way that we do them. Like I'm not looking to turn this into this giant YouTube empire. It'll be great if one day it brings in like a decent size income, because we put ads on the videos. You guys don't need to pay to watch any of the stuff, but we do get some revenue from it. So it's nice to have that revenue stream, but I think what we're doing is working, so I'm happy with it. Let's see. Somebody, East Coast boxing TV, what do you guys special in on eBay? Well, I only do men's clothing, so it's all new and used men's clothing, mostly used, a lot of vintage. I love t-shirts and jackets and sweatshirts, lots of sportswear, streetwear type stuff, lots of 90s. That's kind of like my focus. And then you are just...
I sell all of that same stuff when I can find it, which is not when I'm with her. Plus women's vintage, antiques, collectibles, housewares. I pretty much will sell anything that I can make money on. There's only a couple of things that I don't dabble in, and one of them is jewelry and automotive stuff. So yeah, the album in the middle is a glaring spotlight. The white one.
Well, the problem is it's a white album, so it is. So I might have to switch that one out. That's my John Carpenter anthology one. I might switch it out because it's a little bit too.
The way the light hits it.
Yeah, it's a little too bright. But anyway, I would say with you, it's like you do sell a little bit of everything, but you go for higher price points. Like you're probably the lowest you go for is maybe like $30.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, don't get me wrong, I will sell things for less than $30, but usually it's older or I've taken an offer on something.
But you're not sourcing things to sell for less than $30.
I'm specifically sourcing to sell for $30 and above. My average sale price right now is hovering at about $45. There you go.
Is there a difference between a blazer and a sports coat?
I use the word synonymously. I kind of would put them both on the title.
Yeah.
In a title. I use them both.
What's our favorite number? I don't know if I have a favorite. Do you have a favorite number?
4.
4?
I don't know why.
I don't know what my favorite number is, but it would be an odd number, not an even number. I can say that. I don't know if it's 7.
You don't know
or
if it's
9
7.
or what it is, but I think I would say mine would be odd, whatever it is.
Debbie Porter, are you guys going to try Posh? I will never say never, but as of right now, I have no plans to try Posh. I do not have any more hours in the day. I am already working, as is Katie, 8 to 12 hours, 10 to 12 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. There is no time for me to try another platform. Personally, I intend to invest as much as I can into the platform that pays me the most amount of money. And right now that's still eBay. And I'm putting very little effort into Etsy as well. I'm actually paying someone to cross-post to Etsy for me. I don't have time to do anything with that. So at some point, maybe so. But right now, I don't think either one of us
I'm not really interested in it, but I've got between... I think I talked about this like a while back. You need to like figure out what it is that you are going to put your time into and then commit to it. And so for me, I'm committed to eBay for sure. And I'm also committed to Etsy. And I feel like I've followed through with that. And I've been for the last couple, 2+ months, I have been every single day getting at least 1, if not 10, 15 listings up on Etsy as well. So I've been really steady with that. And then my third thing that I'm focused on is YouTube. I mean, we are very, we have our 3 shows that we do, and we're
3 shows at an hour and a half each show usually, and some planning and prepping for the shows, not too much.
Not too much.
We don't do a ton of editing. We're not super polished or anything like that. So,
and that's why we do like the live shows, because honestly, I do love, I like to watch some of like, Rally Roots stuff and like their pre-recorded stuff.
I think it looks great.
And like, I watch a lot of Paul Cantu videos because he's hilarious. And I like to see all the cool streetwear that he gets, but he edits the crap out of his videos. And it's like, he has a ridiculous number. Like he's got like hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So he's making a lot of money off of that. So for him, like that's probably his number one income. It really is like, he has his own website that he sells stuff on, but that's like his main source of income. For me, it's like my primary focus is on the reselling part. And so with YouTube, I understand that some people would like to see some shorter, like pre-recorded videos, but they take a lot of time. And so we're doing 3 shows a week, and yeah, they're over an hour long, but it's mostly just us sitting here chatting with you guys. And so it doesn't take away too much from our regular day job that we are really focused and committed to.
And we do both. There was a question here a couple times. Do we sell mostly used or new? Both of us sell mostly used. I sell like 98% used. Katie does do retail arbitrage and occasionally sells new items as well. You're probably
maybe like a 20% new.
10 to 20.
I'd say like 20 because like almost all of my shoes are new. And I do go, so I will source at Burlington because they have a great clearance thing for shoes, but also jackets. I buy a lot of jackets from Burlington. Also Ross, pretty much only for shoes for the most part. I think most of their clothes are meh. And Marshalls I will source from sometimes. Burlington also sometimes has like really good stuff in their clearance online. And I think it's like over $50 they will ship for free. So I've actually bought quite a few like shoes and jackets from the clearance online. So yeah, there's stuff out there to buy for sure.
Would we ever consider doing an event like the giant garage sale held at Silverton to get rid of merchandise? Personally, probably not. It's a lot of work for a little bit of effort.
All my stuff is listed, guys. So.
Yeah, all my stuff is listed. It'd be kind of a pain in the neck to do that.
And the worthwhile stuff to sell there, it's like, I feel like I could make more of it for it online and I have it listed. Now, if you're somebody who's like hoarded a bunch of stuff and you need to like move some shit to make some room.
Now, I definitely have some old crap, so to say, that I probably need to get throw into a garage sale. It probably won't be Silverton caliber. It'll be like in my driveway in the spring. I'm going to wait till after 4th quarter, and anything that I have that's real old that has gone through 2 4th quarters and hasn't sold, getting rid of.
I hear you. Nature Girl 2110 wants to know how many items you sell daily in each store. That's hard to say. When I'm doing well, I'm probably just over 200 things a month. So really, that's only like what, 6 items a day?
Yeah, I'm about the same.
Today I shipped out 8 or 9 items, so it was a good day.
I shipped out 9 today too.
Yeah, and so, but you gotta remember that like we focus a lot on higher average sale price, and so
about 200 a month sounds about right.
Yeah, so to me, like I would like to have like higher sale price with less volume going out, because it's like I don't really want to like build an empire where I hire people and just churn the stuff out. I love the hunt for like good, cool, awesome stuff, which you guys should definitely watch the Sunday Live Haul because we found some really, really cool stuff yesterday. And definitely like multiple items that I'm going to be selling for well over $100. And that's the kind of stuff that like I have fun with. It's like, if it's just your bread and butter stuff that sells for $15 a pop, it's like the snooze fest for me. And that's just me. Like different people have different ideas of what, we went to
some people want to sell 20 or 30 items at $15 a pop every day, and good for you. I just don't want to hustle that hard.
Well, we went to the swap meet, and there's like, there's all the people who sell like cool thrifted used stuff there, but then there's also like a bunch of people there who sell like household items and stuff like really cheap, like phone cases and like just knickknacks and like crappy plastic stuff that you would find like in a convenience store. And I was just like, I could never do like that, just would not do it for me. Now they might be making good money doing that. And it's like, but to me, like that doesn't sound like fun. It doesn't sound fun at all.
Let's see, what kind of car do we drive? So I have a 2017 Nissan Pathfinder with it's pearl white, so it's like shiny pearl. I had to go to another state to get it because it was exactly what I wanted, with beige leather interior. Seat 7, but never, because we always have the seats down because we have junk in it. Katie drives my car most of the time.
I have a 2009 Toyota RAV4, which I'm in the process of trying to sell because we don't need a second car. But yeah, we're not really car people, so.
And I love my car. That was actually my dream car. I bought it a little over a year ago. At this point, I probably well, about almost 2 years now. I probably would not have spent what I spent on it because I was in a different financial bracket at that time, let's say. And
sorry,
I don't really care about having a car payment this high at this point, but I still
you guys.
love it.
She
I love
gave
my
up
car.
the good life to be with me, so
Yeah, well,
because I'm a loser.
I suppose I still made out all right. Chevy or Ford, neither. BMW or Harley, definitely Harley.
What about Indian? The Indian bike. I think those
I
are
like
pretty
Indians
cool. I think
too,
Indians are cool.
but I prefer Harley.
Vodka or gin? Definitely gin. I like a good gin and tonic.
Vodka for me.
Yeah, but really, I'm all about the tequila if we're talking hard liquor.
That's my tequila face.
Yeah. If we won the lottery, we get a lump sum or get payments. Which one gets you more money?
The lump sum. Or the payments. I think the payments get you more money over time. I would do the lump sum because the payments stop if the person that wins dies.
I mean, I don't know enough about them. I would say
if you get the lump sum,
I would say whichever one gets you the most overall, and then if you got the lump sum, you can set up trusts and different things.
Exactly.
To basically
set up an annuity
to basically pay it out to yourself in payments, but not in a way that you have more control over it. But you're not going to blow your wad in like 2 seconds, like a lot of people do. So that's probably what I would do. Corona or Budweiser? Definitely Corona. Coke or Pepsi? Definitely Coke.
Diet Pepsi.
Yeah, whatever. Oh, I will say that so we're not really car people, but I do have a dream car. My dream car is like a 70s El Camino, but it would have to be like totally tricked out. But this is like part of me being kind of silly, is that I think the El Camino is one of the silliest cars ever, because it's like somebody was like, I'm going to make a car that's half car, half truck. And it's not going to be really great at being either one, because it's like really like, what can you haul in an El Camino? But it's such a silly car. But I would want it to be like in like just tricked out mint condition. And to me, that would be funny. Now, nobody else would get the joke, but it would be funny to me, and that's what would matter. And I think I would look sweet in an El Camino, like mid-70s El Camino. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can drive you around in it.
It's fine.
Yep. And then while
I would like a vintage pickup
and then
truck.
while I'm driving it, I'm probably going to have like one elbow out the window. You know, the window's going to be rolled down, I have my elbow out, and I'll be doing lots of, yeah.
Oh God, here we go.
Like that.
I will not be in the passenger seat if that's how you're going to drive.
Whatever.
Oh my
God.
God.
You got to let go of worrying about what other people think, man.
No, I worry about what I think. It's not about other people. Oh my God.
All right. Fair enough.
Sunrises or sunsets? I like sunsets, personally.
Yep. Devin Butler wants to know Oregon thrifting compared to LV. They're very different. I definitely had, so in Oregon, what is going on over there? Is that really necessary?
I'm touching things.
They're making lots of crinkling and crackling sounds. Anyway, in Oregon, we had some great bins. Goodwill is probably my main store that I went to. We did have Value Village, which is the same as Savers, but there was only one that was like really like close enough for me to go to regularly. And I loved going there. I would say I had more access to like really cool jackets and stuff like that. However, here we have 6 Savers. The Goodwill, I don't really like the Goodwill here, but we do have 6 Savers. And as bummed as I am that there's less jackets available during the summertime, it's like having 6 Savers is amazing. If those 6 Savers weren't here, then I would be in trouble. But those, it's like I can go there every single week. I can go there every single day and find cool stuff.
Right.
So it's like I can support my business just on those 6 stores alone. And I love that. And so in that sense, like I would never want to go back to living somewhere where there weren't any Savers or I only had one I could go to.
Heels or sneakers? Katie would never wear heels. So she's definitely sneakers or Doc Martens. I have actually just recently gotten into sneakers more in the last year or two, but I'm really only a Vans or Converse sneakers kind of girl, not real sneakers. And I'm more about boots, and I do like heels. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a girly girl.
DJ wants to know what my pricing would be on a regular graphic pre-owned t-shirt, not vintage. Here's the thing. I mostly just buy vintage, but I do buy some stuff that's not vintage. But I price all the t-shirts that I get are ones that I'm going to price either $29.99 or $35.99. and then they go on sale between 10 and 15% off. So generally, I don't sell my t-shirts for less than, let's say, $24 when it comes down to it. And then if it's like, that's even my vintage stuff. And then even if it's, or if it's like something extra cool that I think is extra rare, then I will price it higher. My next price point is $47.99, then $59.99, then $100. Then it's like, if it's something like crazy good, then I'll price it really super high. But my average regular vintage t-shirts and non-vintage, I price them all at $29.99, $35.99 before they go on sale.
Vans or Chucks, I think I only have one pair of Vans. Everything else is Chucks. I have probably 10 pairs.
I have a few pairs of Chucks, but honestly, I'm more of a Vans person. I don't know why. I just don't have any Vans right now.
You have one pair.
Well, I have one pair, but I would.
They're too tight.
They're a little. I love them, but they're a little bit tight. But I would have more. I almost bought some when we were at. There were two pairs that I liked when we were at the swap meet. So
I thought you were buying those for resale. No, you're buying those for you.
No, I'm talking about there were the flower ones.
Oh yeah.
And then yeah. Anyway, all right. I think we need to get some work done because we got to go out tonight.
We do.
We don't get to work late tonight, guys.
It's already after 2.
We have to pull.
I got to get some stuffs done.
We got to pull ourselves away from our work later and go to a party. Which you know that you like your job when it's like it's almost a little bit feels like a little bit of an inconvenience to have to like go do something fun. It's gonna be fun, but I like working. Cake or pie? I'm all about the pie. I'm all about the pie. Pie is good. Here's the thing.
Cake.
She says cake. Here's the thing. Cake. There's really, really good cake out there, but if you just go to the grocery store and get like a crappy sheet cake, it's not very good. Pie, a cheap pie, is still pretty tasty, and an expensive pie is pretty delicious too. But pie, I feel like pie is more reliable.
I think we need to have your sister send us a Marionberry pie for Thanksgiving again.
Oh yeah, those pies are pretty good. Those pies are pretty good. There's some good pie in Oregon, you guys. Anyway, yeah, I could eat pie every day. I love it.
All right, everybody. Thanks for popping in.
Hey, Teresa just popped in. And then she's off to the airport. I don't know where she's going. Anyway, all right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us again. Again, it is No Pants Friday, so I hope you had fun without wearing your pants. Please come and join us on Sunday for Sunday Live Haul. It's going to be an awesome show. I'm telling you, every week I'm like, this is my biggest week ever. This is my best week ever sourcing. I swear, guys, this wasn't my biggest week of sourcing, but I feel like it might be my best because of the cool stuff that I found, and I'm really super excited to share it. Like I'm telling you, I found some sweet items, and so did she. So you should definitely watch that show on Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. Otherwise, we'll just be around. Join the Boss Facebook group if you're not already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and give us a thumbs up if you think we're okay. All right? What do you think about that?
It's pretty fair.
Pretty good. I will talk to you guys later. Maybe you'll talk to them too. I don't know. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. So just me, okay?
Nice.
Just me.
Oh, she's off to Indiana?
Oh, nice. Have fun. Be safe.
Have a nice flight.
And the rest of yous.
Have a nice weekend.
The rest of yous.
We'll see you on Sunday with our new stuff.
Boss up.
Bye.